What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to this edition of our MLB Outlooks for the 2025 MLB season. Today we are going over the Los Angeles Angels. Last year, the Angels finished dead last in the AL West, 63 and 99. Yes, they finished even behind the Athletics, who I think are going to have a very solid year this year. But with the Angels, I think it's going to be more of the same. I don't see a lot of growth. There are some young guys in this lineup that can show that growth, but I'm really nervous about the pitching staff in general. So going down here, free agents on their tracker, Patrick Sandoval signs a 2-year deal with the Boston Red Sox. Kevin Pillar leaves on a minor league contract with the Rangers. Hunter Strickland, Adam Sindler, Miguel Sano, Jose Cisnero, all still free agents. They will not be back. Maybe Hunter Strickland, who knows. Griffin Canning signs a major league contract, 1 year, $4.25 with the New York Mets. Matt Moore and Brandon Drury both go to the White Sox and Red Sox respectfully on minor league deals. Now let's go down to their lineup, because honestly, there is a lot to like, but there's still a lot to dislike. So looking at the Angels' projected lineup for 2025, it goes as following. Mike Trout in the leadoff spot, Luis Rengifo, Taylor Ward, Jorge Soler, who they traded for back in October, Yohan Moncada, who they just signed a few weeks ago, Logan O'Hoppe, Nolan Schanuel, their former first-round pick, Joe Adell, another first-round pick, who's honestly, I feel like, running out of time. Zero options. He needs to figure it out this year. He needs to have a good year. And Tim Anderson, who is a non-roster invitee, he is still somehow in the league. He was not good last year. They signed him back in a couple weeks ago also, just like Yohan Moncada. Here's the thing with Tim Anderson. I think once the fight with Jose Ramirez happened, he kind of just fell off a cliff, kind of just disappeared. The peak of Tim Anderson, in my opinion, was when he hit the Field of Dreams home run into the corn. That's the peak of Tim Anderson. Gets in the fight with Jose Ramirez, and now he's just getting non-roster invitees. Tim Anderson was a guy that a lot of people saw as a contact machine. Like, this guy was pretty fun to watch. He had batting champ written all over him. He had possible guy to win awards written all over him. And it's just sad to see the decline of what he is. He's projected a .1 WAR, bottom of the lineup, 633 OPS projection-wise. And if you're wondering where Zach Neto is, he is on the IL right now. We go down here. He was drafted with one of their first-round picks back in 2022. He had shoulder surgery back on November 6th of last year. So who knows when he'll be back. I think the Angels are hoping he will be back as soon as possible. But yeah, when I'm looking at this lineup, it's basically the top three guys I'm looking the most at. Mike Trout, the question is, can he stay healthy? You got it. We as MLB fans want to see a full healthy year of Mike Trout. I think everyone does. He is the bright spot of this Angels team. Luis Rengifo, Taylor Ward. Taylor Ward provides a lot of pop. Here's the question with him and Rengifo. If the Angels are still in that mode of saying, like, we are still rebuilding, these are two guys that you probably could have traded. Luis Rengifo would have got you something. I know the Mariners were desperate for infielders this year. That would have been a nice little trade partner. Taylor Ward, this was another guy that I was kind of being like, maybe he'll get traded. He has some pop in the outfield. He's projected as 757 OPS. He's a guy that will strike out a good bit, but at the same time, he's just a power guy. He's going to provide you the pop. 114 WRC plus projected, 2.5 WAR. I mean, there's a bunch of teams that could have used a power hitting outfielder under control. I just think the Pittsburgh Pirates, I know they're my favorite team, but it's just the perfect example. They needed a power hitting outfielder, someone to help add power to this team. You could add the Reds in there, someone that needed an outfielder, and both those teams settled for Austin Hayes and Tommy Pham instead. So Taylor Ward stays in LA. I'm wondering though if he is a guy, him and Rengifo, I'm wondering if those are guys that could get moved at the trade deadline, along with the like what I brought up, Luis Robert Jr. on the White Sox. So those are some names to keep an eye on. Jorge Soler they traded for. I'm kind of curious how he's going to do this year. 769 projected OPS. Other than that, I mean, I'm really excited to see Logan O'Hoppe. I'm going to see if he stays healthy. Nolan Schanuel, I'm very curious about him as well. There was a lot of projected 700s or up. It's just the Tim Anderson thing. It's just kind of sad to see. Joe Adell is also a big question mark. This is definitely his last chance to make it work in LA right now with the Angels. It is 0 options left. He only has 3 years of service time already. 1.6 projected WAR, 731 OPS. If there's a guy that might not be an Angel by the end of the year, it is Joe Adell. He could be one of those guys that just gets moved by June or July before the trade deadline. But moving on, they also brought in some bench guys. Travis d'Arnaud to be their backup catcher. I liked that signing a lot. J.D. Davis, they bring in Kevin Newman, and then Mickey Moniak also on their bench. So going down here to their rotation, they made basically the first move of free agency. They brought in Yusei Kikuchi to be their ace, Jose Soriano, Tyler Anderson, Kyle Hendricks. They also signed in November, and Reed Detmers. It's a very mid rotation, in my opinion. There's not really much to be excited about besides Kikuchi. It's also a pretty old rotation. The youngest guy is 25-year-old Reed Detmers and then 26-year-old Jose Soriano. Other than that, I mean, there's not really much to kind of be intrigued by with this rotation. Kikuchi is projected at 3.92. Jose Soriano, that is, projected a 3.98 ERA. Not really projecting well for Kyle Hendricks right now, 5.13. He wasn't really that decent this last year in Chicago, so you're not really expecting much about that. Reed Detmers, I am still looking at 4.10 ERA projection-wise, 1.64. So honestly, I'd put him up in the 3 spot if it were me. Going to their bullpen, they did add Kenley Jansen to a deal a couple weeks ago. I do like that for them. Ben Joyce, Brock Burke, Ryan Zefferjan, Jose Quijada, Hans Kraus, Jose Suarez, and Garrett McDaniels. Very sorry if I butchered Zefferjan and Quijada's pronunciation right there. Other than that, I mean, this is another bullpen that has a lot of question marks that I'm not really happy about. If I wouldn't be happy about Kenley Jansen, Ben Joyce, however, those are the guys. Brock Bird is projected a 0.5 WAR just under them. A couple 0.3 guys, Quijada and Suarez. But it's Kenley Jansen and Ben Joyce's bullpen. It easily is. Ben Joyce, I really like Ben Joyce. I made a video a few months ago talking about these flamethrowers taking over the league. Ben Joyce has a killer fastball. It is very fast. Just look it up. Go to Baseball Savant. You can find some cool stuff about that. But Kenley Jansen, I also really like this signing. It's a veteran guy to lead a bullpen that has a lot of question mark. There are some young guys in this bullpen, however, especially a Ben Joyce. If you're Ben Joyce, I would love to learn basically how to be the expert closer that Kenley Jansen is, because Ben Joyce is going to be that closer once Kenley Jansen is gone. Thank you all for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. We're almost at 300 subscribers. We're trying to hit that by opening day. Make sure to like the video and comment down below your thoughts on the Los Angeles Angels. Have a good one. I'll see you next time.